Tarot is a book that informs by making one think.
True.
And I would add,
True.
It informs by making one think and also intuit, because it really is a tool that opens up intuition.
How far back does the tarot card go, Art?
About 600, 700 years. First made its presence in Renaissance Italy. And as far as where it originally comes from, it remains a mystery. It definitely has roots in ancient Western mystery schools. But I think the first designer of tarot, which is a big question in the tarot community, I think it all goes back to the deep human imagination. It came out of somebody's collective unconscious.
Was tarot once originally like a parlor game?
Well, yes. In fact, originally it was used in the court as a parlor game and as kind of an interesting set of cards that the nobility liked to play with. It didn't really become more of a metaphysical tool for about several hundred years when it moved to France, and the French saw a tremendous metaphysical layers of meaning in the tarot deck.
How many cards in a deck, Art?
78 cards now. And think of it as two decks. There's the minor arcana, which is like playing cards, standard playing cards, four suits and court cards. In the tarot, there are an additional court card, the knights. So instead of 52 cards, it's 56. Then there's an additional 22 cards, which are the hierarchies. And these we could think of as the universal archetypes that are in the deep psyche.
Does every card have its own meaning, or is it done with a combination of cards?
Every card has its own discrete, non-redundant meaning. So there is some overlap, but each card has its own spectrum of possibility.
Like the death card, for example, when you pull that, does that mean the person's going to die?
No. It means that death is part of the universal reality of life and death, and death can be understood on many levels. Death could represent change, metamorphosis, transformation, dissolution, the end of a cycle, for instance, or physical death. It depends on the context.
Now, a lot of times with tarot, and this is what I've learned from you, it has a profound effect on people, but in many cases, you pick the card for them, especially when we do radio shows, and then in person, they pick their own card.
That's right.
Is there a difference there?
That's a good question. My experience is not really. It's almost secondary. However, in person, when I allow a person to select their own cards, they tend to take greater ownership of the reading and can't kind of point their fingers and say, you picked the card.
You did it.
Yeah, you did it. So, but ultimately, it's irrelevant, in my opinion, who picks the cards.
Interesting. Let's look at some pictures of tarot cards, and you can explain to us what we're looking at. What is this?
Well, on the right there, you see the High Priestess is a tarot card from the Aquarian Tarot. Now, you understand that there are maybe 600 or 700 different published tarot decks which display different artists' interpretations and executions of these symbols, but there's only one tarot. There's
Right.
one tarot, but many different artistic renditions of the card.
versions of it.
Now,
Was there-
tarot cards are essentially oracles. If you were to ask a great wise person, say Carl Jung, why does tarot work? Why does the I Ching, the Chinese Book of Changes,
Right.
why does it work? He said, well, it works because it's an oracle. And what oracles do psychologically is they translate a problem or a question into a dream image, into a symbol in a dream language. So they take it out of kind of the ordinary reality and they move it into more of an imaginal realm. They take the thingness out of it and turn it into a symbol. They also point to the unseen, the things that we are outside of our field of awareness. They show possibilities which are kind of filtered out in our thinking.
Do you have a favorite tarot card?
Well, I have several, and it's hard to pick just one, and it depends on the deck. But I think the card that I think is I'm really drawn to, as you asked me this question, is the Temperance card, because it's about blending opposites in a very creative way. It's like working with opposites and feeling the synergy between opposites.
What is the Hermit card? Because you like that too.
Well, the Hermit is the number 9, is key 9. 9 is a very special number in the tarot. The Hermit, today we would think of the Hermit as representing individuation or self-realization. And it has a sense of being very determined and tenacious at climbing that mountaintop to realization without caring too much about what other people think.